Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Share the Good podcast by Goodman Public Relations. I'm excited today to have Ellery Andrews with me from History Fort Lauderdale. Learn about all the good that this organization is doing in our community. Ellery, hi, how are you?
I'm good, Michael. How are you?
I am so glad to have you here on our Share the Good podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's wonderful to see you guys.
So we work together so people know on a regular basis
Yes.
through thick and thin.
Yes.
And today we're going to talk about all the good things happening at History Fort Lauderdale. This podcast is all about sharing the good, and History Fort Lauderdale is very much a part of our fabric of our community, but some don't know, that it exists maybe.
Not only some, many.
So we're going to fix that.
Yep.
We're going to fix that. And I want to get to let them know you a little bit more as well. So what brought you to History Fort Lauderdale?
So I was graduating from Southern Connecticut State University. I needed an internship. I had a best friend living down here, and I did the cold call to somebody at the county who I can't remember anymore, but they were kind enough to put me in contact with Patricia Zeiler, who's our executive director. And as we say, the rest is history.
But you have obviously a passion for history, and I know I work with you. You love putting the exhibitions. Would you say that's your favorite thing to do?
Yes, doing our exhibitions, whether it's for Pride, whether it's for Women Trailblazers, our recently opened Broward Sheriff's Office exhibit. I love doing every aspect of it. It is a hyper focus on one piece of history at one point in time, and I seem to only be able to focus on it for that one piece of time, but it is the most fun. It is fun finding the connections in the community, bringing people in, getting their interest, and opening the exhibits.
Yeah, it's funny when we've worked together on some of the exhibits, we always include an exhibition part, whether it's photo or artifacts, and I love watching how engaged the people are to actually stand and read the bios and the information. They really want to know and they want to see more, which sometimes with what's happening in the world today, I find like the past is kind of being erased. So do you find that too? Like people really want to hear the history?
Especially local community history. I think it has a larger impact because we've had someone who walked through our Black History exhibit earlier this week, and they said, "That is my grandmother. That's my best friend's great aunt." You have that more personal connection than like a wider national history when you do your local history. So it has a greater impact on our community and a greater immediate impact on our community.
Yeah, I know that sometimes History Fort Lauderdale gets calls from developers and other people that are actually planting seeds and building here to learn about the property they're building on and what was there before and to maybe use that in marketing and other things. So have you ever had to research some of that?
Yes, actually, I've worked quite a lot with Tavistock, who is the company that redid Pier 66.
Oh, wow.
And from actually various parts of that whole new building, new development, and the restoration of the tower. And I've worked with the organization in Orlando. I worked with people on the boots on the ground in Fort Lauderdale. I worked with the designers who were putting up photos within the bars that are going to be at the site. So everybody's come in for specifically Pier 66 over the past couple years to learn more about that property's rich history.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, actually. I didn't know that. That's kind of cool. So, proudest moment with History Fort Lauderdale?
Oh, with History Fort Lauderdale, my proudest moment. There have been many over the years. Our Roots of Resilience exhibit that just opened in February, which is our permanent Black history exhibit, is one of my most recent proudest moments. Every year, I seem to get more and more proud of Women Trailblazers and Pride just because they keep growing as exhibitions and as events. And I won an award back when I first started as the Outstanding New Professional for Florida Associations of Museums. So that was a wonderfully proud moment in my early career with History Fort Lauderdale, but it just keeps building that. And then when I get the kids to come through, and if one little child is happy with their field trip and remembers something, that is always a little bit of pride.
So I think I should have started from the beginning, like, what is History Fort Lauderdale? So some people, I guess, just perceive it as a museum, but I think it's more than that.
Yeah, so History Fort Lauderdale, we've been around as a research and archive center since 1962 when we were founded. Our museums are officially three museums. So we have our 1905 New River Inn, which is our main history museum. We have a 1907 Pioneer House, and we have the 1899 replica schoolhouse on top of our research and archive center.
Oh.
But so we are a larger campus in downtown Fort Lauderdale. We're a green space. We have weddings and events. We have field trips come through. Like we said earlier, we host research requests and projects for the community, and we host other community events and nonprofits if they need locations to have an event. So we just try to be as much as possible for everybody in need.
Yeah, it's a primo location. People don't realize, like exploring downtown and walking the Riverwalk, that it's very much a part of the scene there. So, what might someone see that's of very much interest, that's really cool, as one of the parts of the exhibit when they come through the tour?
So it really depends on what somebody likes. I know our older generation loves walking through our Pioneer House because it is like walking back in time or back into memory lane. I know when I first walked in, I said, "Oh, my grandmother has this, my grandmother has that." It was set up as if, the family's coming home in the early 1900s. Kids have no conception of what school was like.
Right? Oh my
So
God.
the one-room schoolhouse is a whole new world for them when they go
Yeah.
through. Never mind that I have to explain to them that there was no air conditioning. So we're lucky enough to have air conditioning in our buildings now.
Right.
But the um, main history museum, our first floor exhibits are local artists, and people love that we support our local artists. And it's an unexpected boon that we have at the museum, and it's always a surprise. They're not expecting contemporary artwork in the museum.
I think that's cool. I think that more people need, especially locals, need to take a day to just come and play over there. So for relevance to people, it's right around the corner from the Museum of Discovery and Science and Broward Center for the Performing Arts, right?
Yes, so we are right at the intersection of the New River and the railroad, right on the Riverwalk, as you said before. We are across from Thrive, which is that big, beautiful statue that's on the Riverwalk as well.
Mm.
It's easily seen from our museum. So if you
Right.
want to go take an Instagram photo of Thrive and then pop over the train tracks and come see us, you can do that. But we are within walking distance or a quick boat ride if you were traveling down the New River.
I think it's, yeah, it's once that whole area has changed a lot, hasn't it?
Yes, I've been here since 2015, and there have been 4 additional high rises put up since 2015.
I know as soon as you go over the rail track. So right there is like food and beverage and this really cool building with like graphics on the walls. It's really changed.
Yes.
It's emerged.
So we have there's wonderful restaurants that are coming out. There's a very active nightlife as well. But if you're there for family fun, Esplanade Park has
Yeah.
events on the weekends, and like you said, Museum of Discovery and Science, the Broward Center is right there. We are the arts and culture district.
So how can people engage with History Fort Lauderdale?
So other than just visiting, which would our number one engagement, we always want people to come through. We are active on social media. We have our Instagram and our Facebook. We do community events and outreach at different organizations. Like earlier in the week, I was at FAU Schools of Architecture
Oh,
doing a symposium on building Broward. So I was with my contemporary colleagues from other organizations, and we were discussing the development of Broward County to the
well,
FAU students and the general public. So.
oh, it's changed so much. It's kind of hard to believe I've lived here 53 years. How long have you been here,
10.
Serena?
I'm in
A lot of change, right? Some of it's good, and everything evolves. So I think it's even cooler than going back what we said when we started, that there's relevance in terms of documenting all that,
Yes.
right?
Yes, we always have the conversation of what's happening now is important. It's going to be history one day. Um, I know our archives is kind of a hard stop at 1975, and it's getting over that idea that that generation's still alive.
Right.
So you can't possibly be donating it yet, but it's collecting that information
I
now.
think some of the things that was compelling to me was the hangings
Mhm,
of African
mhm.
Americans. I remember when that documentation came out, people don't realize, those kind of things were also part of our history
And
here.
you have a very different story that's told for the lynching of Reuben Stacy in 1935 versus the story that gets told through the 60s, through the 70s, to are now safer for the Black community to come out and talk about it.
Yeah.
Um, conversations that we get to have now
Right.
because trust has been built within the community and the acknowledgement that what we did was wrong. And so we get to tell a more accurate story by gathering the stories from all sides.
Yeah, no, I think that's important. So one of the things that we're working feverishly on now, which I know you know, is History
Yeah.
Makers. So let's talk a little bit about that because that's going to be very much a big splash for History Fort Lauderdale in January 8th,
Yes,
right?
January 8th. So we every year our major fundraiser is we honor some prominent history maker within the community. We've honored Galleria Mall, we've honored the Miller family, we've honored Ted Drum and his
Kelly
family,
Shanley.
Kelly Shanley. And this upcoming history makers, we are honoring the Florida Panthers
Wow.
and the restoration for War Memorial Auditorium, which is going to be the new home. But our Florida Panthers are back-to-back Stanley Cup champions.
Right.
That's impressive.
And they've done a lot for the
And they have
community.
done a lot for the community. They have been
Mm.
active in our community. The Wayne Huizinga, who's their original owner, was a huge
Big
philanthropist.
donor.
Um, a wonderful, wonderful company and wonderful people who have worked with him. And the lovely thing about honoring the Florida Panthers is that you get all these, like I said, these stories that are coming out.
Yeah.
People are remembering their games, or remembering the 90s and throwing rats onto the ice for the first time. In our collection, we have the old shirts and the hats from the 1990s. We have pucks and signed posters that it's fun. It's a fun walk down memory lane.
So for the audience to know, um, during the event on January 8th at War Memorial Auditorium at 5:30 p.m., there'll be some collectibles visible for people to see as part of the event to
Yes.
kind of experience.
We will be having some pieces of our collection, which is the Wayne Huizinga, part of the Wayne Huizinga collection, out on display. It's always fun to see how logos change over time.
Yeah, and then you sent me some stuff, and I love it. I love, this event, History Makers, for people that haven't been to it before. It's kind of very compelling because people come out of the woodwork to support the honoree, and there's a lot of people like that haven't seen each other for a long time, so it's kind of like a walk down memory lane.
It is. You don't realize how many connections there are in the community until you
Right.
start digging for them, and then they pop up left and right.
And hopefully they sponsor.
Yes, and hopefully they sponsor. And it seems you can't throw a stone without somebody having a memory or a connection or a legacy in here in our community.
So again, when we started, I said the podcast was Share the Good, and we're going to be really exploring and talking about all the good things happening in our community and around us. So what is good about History Fort Lauderdale?
We're very active. So we have our free exhibit openings. We have art exhibits that open not quite every month, but multiple times a year. We try to honor the heritage months for our
Yes.
exhibit openings.
You
And
just finished Hispanic
yes,
Heritage.
we just finished Viva Fort Lauderdale, which was so much fun. It's one of my favorite exhibits every year because it is bright and it's colorful. It is the epitome of our Latin community.
Was one of my favorite artists a part of it?
But
The one from Miami.
no,
Oh, he didn't do it.
yes, he was he told me he didn't have any new artwork for me to put up.
I forget his name, but I love
Yes.
his art. I think it's cool that people also can come. They don't realize you could come more than once a year because
Yes.
the exhibits are
Change.
multiple times. And that's in the New River Inn.
Yes, that's in our main history museum.
Okay.
We're in.
So what else, I think I enjoy working with you. What's something that people don't know about you
Personally or
personally? Yeah, I think it's, in doing the work that
Mhm.
I do, I think like history, everybody has their own story.
Yes. So
But
the most common question I get is how I got involved in this.
yeah.
And I think it's always a shocker when I tell people. So I'm from Wallingford, Connecticut, and my family's a founding family of my hometown, and that's
Oh,
1670.
wow.
So Fort Lauderdale's 1911 for our incorporation.
Is it 1911?
Yep.
Wow.
So yeah, baby. But my hometown was founded in 1670. My family was in New Haven, Connecticut in 1640. We've been on the same piece of land for that long. It was very normal for me growing up that I just assumed everybody had immediate access to their family history.
Yeah.
And it took till about middle school to realize that was not normal. Like, you can't just walk into their grandparents' house and have their family tree on the wall, open up a closet, and see, hundreds of years worth of
Wow.
personal history. And so I got into this, on top of my mother dragging us to museums all the time when we were kids, or just kicking us out of the house if she didn't want us to be around. I realized that I could more easily knew how to facilitate this type
Oh,
of subject matter to the community because I had such in-depth
so
access to
that's
my own.
wow,
Mm.
that's interesting. Your parents still alive?
Yes. And my grandmother's 94.
Wow, she's still alive.
Mhm.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I've enjoyed this moment. I hope you
I
enjoyed this
have.
moment. I hope that people, are able to listen and learn and tune in. I created this tagline, share the good, because what we do at Goodman Public Relations is all about sharing good stories, sharing good news. And so I thought it was apropos to finally start a podcast. So you're one of our first guests. And so I want to thank you, Ellery Andrews,
Thank you,
for
Michael.
coming. And we'll see you soon. We'll be working
Yes,
together a
I
lot
would say
more.
we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk probably later today.
Don't forget, everyone, to keep following us and share the good every day.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Share the Good with me, Michael Goodman. Remember to like, subscribe, and share the good.